It's the 2nd of September 2024. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news tonight, I am Jayamal Ratnayaka for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight.
Namal unveils Manifesto and promises to eradicate fraud and corruption from the electoral platform within 3 years.
Grey economic, white economy එකට පරිවර්තනය කිරීම තුලින් මම විශ්වාස කරනවා මේ රටේ වංචාව හා දූෂණය කියන සටන් පාඨය අපිට අවම කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Ranil backers from the SLPP to form new political alliance on Thursday. President at SLFP anniversary celebrations. Cabinet approves a proposal to increase the salaries of state sector officials starting from January. Sajith announces a plan to increase wages.
දන්නවා රාජ්‍ය ශේෂ්ත්‍රයේ නිලධාරීන් විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ ප්‍රදේශයේ සිටිනවා. රාජ්‍ය සේවයේ නිරත වී සිටින නිලධාරීන්ට 124ක වැටුප් වැඩිවීම. ඒ වගේම ඔබගේ දීමනාව 18700 සිට 25000 දක්වා ජීවන වියදම් දීමනාව වැඩි කිරීම. හැම රාජ්‍ය නිලධාරියෙකුගේම අවම වැටුප 57500ක් බවට පත් කරමින්.
Will any devious act be carried out at the last minute? Anura responds.
අන්තිම වෙලාවේ මොනවා හරි කරයිද මුකුත් කරන්න බෑ. රනිල් පරදිනවා සාමකාමීව ගෙදර යනවා. දැයි පෙරදිලා පුරුදු නැති කෙනෙක්. අයියෝ ගණන් ගන්න එපා. Sri Lanka decides.
Sri Lanka decides.
On to tonight's top story. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna presidential candidate Namal Rajapakse has vowed to eliminate the use of fraud and corruption campaign slogans from the electoral platform within 3 years. He made this bold commitment while unveiling his presidential manifesto today.
The launch ceremony for the Namal Vision Manifesto, titled A Developed Country for You, was held in Colombo this morning. The event was graced by prominent figures including former President Mahinda Rajapakse, leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Basil Rajapakse, the party's founder, former President Gajaba Rajapakse, and former Speaker Chamal Rajapakse. Namal Rajapakse began by presenting his policy statement to the religious leaders, including the Mahasangha. Following this, he handed a copy of the manifesto to Mahinda Rajapakse.
වසර 3ක් ඇතුළත වංචාව හා දූෂණය කියන සටන් පාඨයේ මැතිවරණ වේදිකාව.
We are committed to building a government that transforms Sri Lanka into the most developed country in Asia. We envision a society where children grow up in a culture-centered environment, free from fear, and their elders can raise their families in a united and harmonious nation. We pledge to eradicate fraud and corruption from our political landscape within 3 years. Additionally, we aim to create 2 million direct and indirect jobs in our motherland over the next decade.
බෙදුන් නැති ඒකීය රටක් විදිහට පවතින රටක් බවට තහවුරු වෙන ආණ්ඩුව.
Explaining his economic policy, Namal Rajapakse emphasized that while the country's current economic strategy follows the directives of the International Monetary Fund, it is not the optimal solution. He outlined several related key points in his policy statement. Develop a program with the IMF to alleviate the burden on citizens through a targeted economic plan. Ensure the government's budget goals are met while providing immediate relief to the public. Aim to lower public debt to 80% of the gross domestic product. Maintain inflation and interest rates in the single digits. Gradually reduce value-added tax and pay tax. Maintain the Samurdhi to support those in need. Concessions for water and electricity. Implement a permanent fertilizer subsidy system. Relax import restrictions that hinder small, medium and large-scale enterprises. Tax amendments for internet facilities. Offer loans based on personal collateral for purchasing computers and other technical devices. Develop an IT system to streamline access to birth, education and other certification documents, reducing bureaucratic hassle.
මා විශ්වාස කරනවා ඊළඟ වසර 10 ඇතුළත අපේ රටේ දලදේශීය නිෂ්පාදනය දෙගුණයක් බවට පත් කළ යුතුයි කියන කාරණය.
I firmly believe that we must double our country's gross domestic product within the next decade. To achieve this, we need to implement a targeted and strategic program. We are committed to transforming our current economy, valued at 80 to 85 billion US dollars, into an economy exceeding 180 billion US dollars. I am confident that we can end the era of queues by digitizing government services, ensuring transparent handling of public service transfers and salary increases without political interference. By integrating the informal economy into the formal banking system, we can significantly reduce fraud and corruption.
ග්‍රේ ඉකොනොමික වයිට් ඉකොනොමියකට පරිවර්තනය කිරීම තුලින් මම විශ්වාස කරනවා මේ රටේ වංචාව හා දූෂණය කියන සටන් පාඨය අපිට අවම කරන්න පුළුවන්.
The manifesto also includes programs concerning education and health. Revamp the syllabus, teaching methods and educational media. Implement immediate measures to eliminate drug shortages in the healthcare system. Conduct a thorough forensic analysis of development activities funded by international loans. Perform a forensic audit on the utilization of high-interest international sovereign bonds. Increase pensions to align with current pay scales. Establish a 1 billion rupee social investment fund to support entrepreneurs addressing social and environmental challenges with innovative solutions. Provide licenses and credit facilities exclusively for the introduction of comfortable buses. Railway modernization. Develop railway lines parallel to expressways.
අපේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය මේ මාතෘ භූමියේ වවන්න පුළුවන් හැම බින්ගංගල.
Our policy is to cultivate every inch of arable land in our motherland. Instead of importing fish caught in our own waters, we must protect and sustain our fisheries. We are committed to following the agricultural policy established by former President Mahinda Rajapakse. We must find solutions to the country's challenges. Transforming our education system is crucial to providing an education that aligns with global job market demands. Our education policy aims to create 2 million jobs.
බිහි කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය අධ්‍යාපන ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් අපි අනුගමනය කළ යුතුයි.
Ministers and MPs from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, who are backing President Ranil Wickremesinghe, are set to launch a new political alliance on Thursday. Minister Ramesh Patirana will serve as the secretary of this new alliance, which will be led by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena.
State Minister Dilu Mamunugama called on the Mahanayak of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, the Most Venerable Thibatuave Sumangala Theru, and detailed on the formation of a new political alliance.
ඒකෙන් ඔබතුමාලට දැන් පොහොට්ටු පක්ෂෙන් මේ ඉදිරියට මෙතිවන තරම් කරන්න ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැති තත්ත්වයක් නෙත්
නෑ මේක පක්ෂයක් හදනව නෙමෙයි වරද්දා ගන්න එපා මේක සම්දානයක්.
No, this is not about creating a new party. Don't misunderstand. This is an alliance. The main party involved is the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Our faction is the Mahajanak Sat Peramuna. We also have Minister Pillayan, the EPDP, Asankanavaratna Ministers Tiran Alas and Lanza. All these parties and their representatives are coming together to form this alliance. But let me be clear, our party remains the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. We do not know if we will be removed from the SLPP. We have no intention of leaving.
ඉවත් කරා කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් අපි ඉවත් වෙන්න කල්පනාවක් නැහැ.
All of that will be revealed on the 5th. We have always been Mahinda Rajapakse's supporters. Whether we stay in the party or leave, our bond with him remains unbroken.
The 73rd anniversary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was held in Colombo today. The event was presided over by independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe.
The 73rd anniversary celebrations of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party took the theme Dinuma Ratata Ekpa Perata, which loosely translates to moving forward together for the victory of the nation. Chairman of the SLFP, Minister Namal Siripala De Silva, General Secretary Duminda Disannayaka, Treasurer Lasanthala Giyavanna, Senior Vice Chairman Mahinda Amaravira and Leslie Devendra attended the event. The proposal presented by the Central Working Committee of the SLFP to support independent candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe at the upcoming presidential election was also passed during the event today.
I propose for the decision made by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party to extend the fullest support to Ranil Wickremesinghe at the upcoming presidential election be approved at the 73rd National Convention. I request everyone to raise their hands and show their approval. Family politics will not be conducted in the SLFP anymore. I was removed. Why? It is okay for Maithripala Sirisena to work with UNP and become the president. I was removed through one proposal, claiming I joined Ranil Wickremesinghe's government. I moved court and ensured the party's democracy was protected. That court case was the pivotal point. Today, none of the organizers can be removed unjustly. Arbitrary decisions cannot be made. Your political future has been secured. The presidency must be held by knowledgeable folk, those with a plan. It should be someone who can face any challenge. We still love Mahinda Rajapakse wholeheartedly. Why? Because he won the war and ended terrorism. But we cannot back his son simply because of the father's achievements. That does not work. The economic war requires a bold warrior. He is none other than Ranil Wickremesinghe. This is a requirement of the era. It is the nation's calling. Therefore, the SLFP is supporting Ranil Wickremesinghe true to its conscience.
සහයෝගය දෙන්නේ අපේ හදවතට එකගව. අපේ සජ්ජබේ මොකද්ද කරලා තියෙන්නේ?
What has the SJB gone and done? They engaged in a vain attempt to secure the votes of the Tamil party, the federal party. They were caught instantly. They can't even succeed at that. So, they have no footing in Jaffna. What sort of a party is it? Let's take the NPP. It's a party which has forgotten the past. How can one move to the future by ignoring the past? They cannot remember what they did. The year 1971 does not exist in their diaries. Show me if that year exists in their calendars. I won't speak of the rest. Are we to move ahead with them? Let's unite to develop the country. There are no gas queues, petrol queues or medicine queues. I will form one queue, just one. I will form the polling queue on the 21st of September. Go forth without fear. This era has given rise to a major political shift. Back then, people followed leaders. But 2 years ago, it changed. The followers decided to be their own decision makers because the leaders stranded them. They ran away. Those who were left said they will follow one path. That is our intention. I thank all of you for this support. I will not forget it. Let's all get together, go on this journey and show the results to the entire nation that we can develop this nation when we unite.
අපිට එකට වැඩ කරාම අපිට රට කොට ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.
Sri Lanka Freedom Party Member of Parliament Dayasri Jayasekara held a press conference today. Professor Rohana Lakshman Piyadasa and several other SLFP organisers were also in attendance.
As we approach the 73rd anniversary of our party, we find ourselves in court. A group of individuals who have used government power to fracture the party are now claiming to organise an anniversary event. This event is being led by Namal Siripala de Silva, Duminda Disanayaka and other members who were illegally appointed. Ranil Wickremesinghe is the chief guest at this anniversary celebration in Maharagama. We are deeply ashamed and saddened by this, and we express our protest against the SLFP celebrating its 73rd anniversary under Ranil's leadership. Bringing home in the leader of the United National Party who has worked to dismantle our party to celebrate this milestone is a significant blow to the SLFP.
නෑ ඉතින් අපි මතක් කරත් අපි කොහොමද යන්නේ මේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ කියනලා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ සම්බන්ධතරය කරනට.
The presidential candidate of the National Democratic Front, Dr. Wijay Rajapakse, paid floral tributes to the statue of SWRD Bandaranaike at Galle Face.
පැහැදිලි ලෙස මම කියනවා අපි ගෙනියන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය. ඒ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය තුල මේ රටේ ආණ්ඩු බලය අපි ගන්නවා.
දැන් කොතනද කාත් එක්කද ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ තියෙන්නේ?
මාත් එක්ක.
The party is with me. I am the 7th chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. There is a restraining order, but once these issues are resolved in court, the problems will be addressed. No, there is no such division. 2 members have joined Sajid's side and 4 or 5 have aligned with Ranil. The party remains intact. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party was formed after Bandaranaike left the UNP, and we continue to follow his policies. Those who have left can remain where they are. Whether we join an alliance or not, we are not in the business of political bargaining. We don't have politicians who switch sides for money. We are committed to our principles and will not sell out like broiler chickens.
The Cabinet has granted approval to raise the basic salaries of the public sector from the 1st of January 2025. The decision was reached after considering the recommendations from the Presidential Expert Committee appointed to investigate and address salary discrepancies in the government sector.
Issuing a statement, the President's Media Division said, commencing the 1st of January 2025, the basic salary for public service will be increased by at least 24% for the lowest ranks, with increases ranging from 24% to over 50% for all public service professionals. The salary for the Grade 3 Office Employees Service will be increased by 5,450 rupees, the Grade 2 by 8,760 rupees, the Grade 1 by 10,950 rupees and the special grade by 13,980 rupees. The salary for Grade 3 Drivers Service will be increased by 6,960 rupees, the Grade 2 by 9,990 rupees, Grade 1 by 13,020 rupees and the special grade by 16,340 rupees. The salary for the Grade 3 Samurdhi Development Officers will be increased by 8,340 rupees, Grade 2 by 11,690 rupees and Grade 1 by 15,685 rupees. The salary for Grade 3 Management Service Officers and Management Assistants will be increased by 10,140 rupees, Grade 2 by 13,490 rupees and Grade 1 by 17,550 rupees. Salaries for Grade 3 Development Officers will be increased by 12,710 rupees, Grade 2 by 17,820 rupees and Grade 1 by 25,150 rupees. The salary for the Public Health Inspector and Public Health Midwives Grade 3 will be increased by 12,885 rupees, Grade 2 by 17,945 rupees and Grade 1 by 25,275 rupees. The salary for the Grade 3 Pharmacists and Radiographers Services will be increased by 13,280 rupees, Grade 2 by 18,310 rupees and Grade 1 by 25,720 rupees. The salary for the Grade 3 Nursing Officers will be increased by 13,725 rupees, Grade 2 by 18,835 rupees and Grade 1 by 26,165 rupees. The salary for Grade 3 Principal Service will be increased by 23,425 rupees, Grade 2 by 29,935 rupees and Grade 1 by 39,595 rupees. National College of Education teachers in the teaching service will receive a salary increase of 17,480 rupees. A salary increase of 19,055 rupees has been proposed for graduate teachers, 20,425 rupees for the Grade 2 and 38,020 rupees for Grade 1. A police constable will receive a salary increase of 10,704 rupees. The salary increase for a police sergeant is 13,210 rupees. The salary of a sub-inspector will be increased by 14,050 rupees. The salary of an inspector of police will be increased by 18,290 rupees and the salary of a chief inspector will increase by 23,685 rupees. The salary for the Grade 3 of the Grama Niladhari will be increased by 11,340 rupees, Grade 2 by 14,690 rupees and Grade 1 by 18,750 rupees. The salary of an administrative Grama Niladhari officer will increase by 23,575 rupees. The salary for Assistant Secretary, Assistant Director, Accountant, Assistant Divisional Secretary and Assistant Commissioner will increase by 28,885 rupees. The starting salary for Deputy Director and Deputy Commissioner will increase by 43,865 rupees. The salary for the posts of Divisional Secretary, Director, Commissioner and Senior Assistant Secretary will increase by 57,545 rupees. The salary for Grade 3 doctors will increase by 35,560 rupees. The salary of Grade 2 doctors will increase by 39,560 575 rupees, while the salaries of grade 1 doctors will increase by 53,075 rupees and the salary of additional secretary and specialist doctor will increase by 70,200 rupees. Additionally, it has been recommended to double all salary increment values for government employees every year. Arrangements have also been made to implement these salary increases for public corporations, boards and statutory bodies, universities and the armed forces from the 1st of January 2025.
Sajith Premadasa, the presidential candidate of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, has pledged to liberate public servants from the government's tax burdens and to enhance the value of their service.
A public rally in support of Sajith Premadasa's presidential campaign took place in Bulletin this morning. Representatives from the partner parties of the Samagi Jana Alliance, led by Samagi Jana Balawegaya, also addressed the enthusiastic crowd.
We recognize the significant number of government officials in this area. We are committed to implementing a 24% salary increase for public servants. Additionally, we will raise the living allowance from 18,700 to 25,000, ensuring a minimum salary of 57,500 for all government officials. We plan to reform the current oppressive tax system, reducing the tax range from 6% to 36% to a more manageable 1% to 24%, therefore providing a substantial boost to the middle class and public service. We will address the disparity in pensions for retirees and offer a 15% interest rate on savings accounts for the elderly. For those recruited since 2015, we will ensure a pension mandate is in place. Our one rank, one pension program for the armed forces and the 28,000 rupee allowance for the police sector will be extended beyond the current 3-month period. Many civil defence personnel reside in the Mullaitivu district and we stand against the current government's plan to offer them 3 million rupees to leave their positions. It was the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Samagi Jana Sandhana and my team who opposed this in Parliament and protected their jobs. We are also committed to eradicating poverty by providing 20,000 rupees per month to very poor families for 24 months, integrating the best aspects of programs like Jana Savya, Samurdhi and Gamidiriya. Our comprehensive plan focuses on saving, investment, consumption, production and export to uplift our nation.
ජනසවිය සමෘද්ධිය ගැමිදිරිය මේ හැම වැඩසටහනකම හොඳ දේවල් ටික එකතු කරගනිමින් මාස 24ක් තුල හැම දුප්පත් පවුලකටම දුප්පත්කමින් මිදෙන්නට මාසකට 20000ක ආධාර ලබා දීලා ඉතිරි කිරීම ආයෝජනය පාරිභෝජනය නිෂ්පාදනය අපනයනය මෙන්න මේ කරුණු කාරණා කේන්ද්‍ර කරගෙනයි මාසකට 20000ක දුප්පත්කම තුරන් කිරීමේ වැඩසටහන මාස 24ක් පුරාවට අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නට යෙදී සිටින්නේ.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මේ පහුගිය කාලය ඇතුළතදී උතුරු නැගෙනහිර සංචාරය කරනවා.
Ranil Wickramasinghe was travelling in the north and east. It's shameful to see that while he speaks about the rights of the people in these regions, those who have violated these rights are sitting on the stage with him. This administration has divided us by party, colour, race and religion, fostering casteism and creating unnecessary racial and religious divides in our country. The same group of individuals from the SLPP who are now supporting Wickramasinghe's bid for the presidency are far from pure. This political process under Ranil Wickramasinghe is truly disgraceful. For the first and last time in Sri Lanka, I urge you to spread the message that we need to come together to elect a Sri Lankan president.
සියලු දෙනා නැගිටින්න. කාන්තාව ටික නැගිටින්න. එළඹ මාත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා කියමුද? සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාට. තව හයියෙන් සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාට. සමගි ජන බලවේගයට. රනිල් වේන්දා. රනිල් වේන්දා. අනුර කොහොමත් වේන්දා. එනම් කවුද ඕනේ? සජිත් තමයි. ඕනා.
நாடு மிக மோசமான நிலையில் இருக்கிறது.
The country is in a dire state. People are living in poverty and facing starvation. They deserve to live freely with their needs met. We must address the issues faced by farmers and fishermen. Mano Ganesan's faction, the Tamil Arusukatchi and all Tamil-speaking people can unite to uplift our region if we elect a president who is loved by all Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim alike. Let us all come together to support the victory of Sajith Premadasa, show your solidarity and join us in this effort.
Andrakumara has pledged that under a national people's power government, farmers will be liberated from their debt.
Another rally organised to muster support for the National People's Power presidential candidate Andrakumara was held in Rikilagaskada this morning.
චේන් එක ගත්ත බෙල්ල දාන්න. ඒක තියෙන ෂේප්ුවේ බැංකුවේ. මුද්ද ගත්ත අපේ දාන්න. ඒක තියෙන බැංකුවේ ෂේප්ුවේ. කොල්ලගේ බෙල්ලේ පංචාවුදේ දැම්මා. ආරක්ෂාව. ඒක තියෙන බැංකුවේ ආරක්ෂාවට දෙන්න. නැත්නම් අපි මේ ණය බරෙන් නිදහස් කරගෙන ගොවි ජනතාවට විනෝදය.
Most of the jewellery have been placed as security with the banks by the people. Let's eliminate this debt and provide our farmers with nutritious meals, quality education, true freedom and mental well-being. We aim to transform the people of this country into a happy, smiling community. We promise a beautiful life achievable through efforts seen worldwide. Our rulers never desired this. They always sought power for themselves. Mahinda Rajapakse became president and now his son is trying to follow. At 79, he finds it difficult to walk and climb the stage. But why? Is it for the people? It is for his children. These rulers build governments for their families and relatives, not for the common people. On the 21st of September, let's form a government for the common people for the first time in Sri Lanka under the National People's Power. Some say Ranil might do something at the last minute, but he can't. Ranil will lose and go home peacefully. He is used to losing and he will have to accept it. Others worry about tampering with ballot papers. However, public servants who are mostly with the National People's Power will ensure the votes are counted correctly. The police will guard the ballot boxes from the moment they are brought to the polling booth until the votes are counted. The police are committed to their duty and their protection is evident. We will win the National People's Power. Do not harm any members of the other losing parties. We share the same struggles and disasters. Therefore, let us not hold grudges against them.
Independent presidential candidate Field Marshal Sarat Fonana says the only way to free the people from poverty is to build the country's economy.
He made these comments while joining a rally held in Waligama Matra today.
– 80% of the people of this country are now poor. They can't afford 3 meals. Parents stay hungry to feed their children. My constituency is Kalania. 50% of my constituency live in slums. In that case, this side is lucky. There is at least a coconut tree or breadfruit tree. Those slums have a single light bulb. They can't afford to settle the bill, so they are in debt by the end of the month. They are helpless. These rogue politicians are taking advantage of their helplessness. A distorted political culture has been created through the art of approaching the poor. The people of this country need to understand this. They can never get rid of poverty by accepting meager subsidies. The only way to free the people from poverty is to build the country's economy. You will only feel the difference if the economy improves.
Nuwan Bopage, the presidential candidate of the Socialist People's Forum, criticised Ranil Wickremesinghe's policy statement, calling it an anti-people policy that perpetuates the IMF's agenda. He made these remarks at a press conference held in Colombo today.
16 වතාවක් අපි ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය අරමුදලට ගියා IMF එකට ගියා.
We have approached the International Monetary Fund 16 times. Each time we had to violate the agreement. This is the story of Ranil Wickremesinghe. He claims that while we violated these conditions 16 times before, he will not do so on the 17th attempt and will move forward. His economic policy is clear: to adhere strictly to the IMF's conditions, regardless of what else is in the Puluwan Sri Lanka program. Ultimately, Ranil Wickremesinghe is continuing this anti-people IMF policy. We ask the people, do you agree with this policy?
සිංහ කියන්නේ මේ ජනතා විරෝධී IMF ප්‍රතිපත්ති ඉස්සරහට පවත්වාගෙන යනවා කියලා. ඒතර අපි ජනතාවගෙන් අහනවා ඔබ මේ ප්‍රතිපත්තියට එකඟද?
Parliamentarian Professor G.L. Piris, speaking in Jaffna, commented on the current state of affairs.
This claim that Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe brought about the economic recovery of Sri Lanka, right, is a total myth. It is simply not true, because the litmus test is the degree of comfort of the people of Sri Lanka. Are their lives better? The people of Sri Lanka have never suffered at any time in their history as much as they are suffering now. During the last 2 years, poverty has doubled. Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe has been in power not through a mandate of the people, but as a result of a parliamentary selection. He has been in power for 2 years and 2 months. That is a period during which poverty doubled. Today, 500,000 children have had to leave school because their parents cannot provide them with the basic resources to continue their schooling. Child malnutrition is running today at 27%. More than 950,000 people have lost their livelihoods. 200,000 SME sector companies have collapsed. About 1.1 million people have had their electricity disconnected. Now, these are not signs of an economic recovery. We cannot blame the International Monetary Fund because the IMF has consistently said that before implementing the program with the IMF, it is absolutely necessary to put in place a strong social safety net in order to look after the most vulnerable sections of the people, the least affluent sections of people. That has not happened. What you see today is an inversion of social equity. The country is in a serious economic crisis, but in order to find ourselves a way out of that predicament, the largest, the heaviest burden must fall on shoulders that are best able to bear that burden. What Mr. Wickremesinghe has done is the opposite of it. He has placed the burden on shoulders that are not able to bear the burden, the poorer sections of the people.
Strengthening the people, fighting for the truth, leading a nation, forging the future. Newsfirst, with the people.
Once again, Shakti TV successfully participated in a prime cultural event in the north with your support. We are grateful to all Sri Lankans who joined us at the Shakti TV Nallur live studio. Shakti TV, power of the nation.
Who will the Ilange Tamil Arasa Katchi support in the presidential election? This has become a topic of discussion in the recent days, and this is a report on the developments.
10 MPs from the Ilange Tamil Arasu Katchi were elected to Parliament in the general election held in 2020. In addition to ITAC, Tello and Plot are also part of this faction. Of the 10 MPs, 3 MPs representing Tello and Plot are supporting the Tamil common candidate P. Aryanetran. ITAC MPs M.S. Sumandiran, Shanakian Rasamanikam, Thavaraja Kalayarasan and Shammugam Kuadasan reached a decision to support Sajid Premadasa at the party's Central Committee meeting held yesterday. However, ITAC MPs S. Sridharan and Charles Nirmalanathan did not attend yesterday's discussion.
The Ilange Tamil Arasu Katchi will support Sajid Premadasa's candidacy at the 2024 presidential election.
Leader of ITAC, Mave Senadiraja, said he did not attend yesterday's discussion due to health concerns.
We have the responsibility to carry forward the decision reached by the ITAC Central Committee. But the people should consider winning over the rights of the Tamil people when casting their vote. We should use this election to find solutions in a united manner. It is important that we ensure our rights. We must work together for that. Our party has reached that decision. We must discuss how to implement the decision during the next meeting. We should act in a manner that will ensure the rights of our people.
Chairman of the ITAC Colombo branch, President's Council K.V. Thavarasa, provided an explanation today.
நேற்றைய தினம் முதலாம் தேதி இலங்கை தமிழரசு கட்சியின் மத்திய செயற்குழு கூட்டம் வவுனியாவில் நடைபெற்றது.
26 people, including myself, attended yesterday's Central Committee meeting. I left the meeting halfway and later found out that the party reached a decision to support Sajid Premadasa. However, Wijay Senadiraja was unaware of the decision. It wasn't discussed with him. All members weren't informed of the decision beforehand either. There are 41 members in the Central Committee. The decision was reached by the 25 who were present. Although the party leader is Wijay Senadiraja, Sridharan became the leader of the party on the 21st of January. However, the appointment has been challenged in court. Sridharan, Yogeshwaran and Sarvanabavan were not present yesterday. So the leader who was appointed later wasn't informed either. 6 of those present had also expressed support for Aryanetran. So no one can ask Aryanetran to abandon the fight to become the Tamil common candidate.
Leaflets were distributed in Nugegoda today to create public awareness regarding the policies of the National People's Power for the presidential election. It was headed by university professors.
Lecturers of the Open University in Namal and the University of Colombo were present to distribute the leaflets.
Various professionals are involved in the election campaign. Therefore, we decided to distribute leaflets today to support the victory of the NPP as university lecturers. The country has collapsed in all sectors, including the economy, politics and culturally. The NPP brings us new hope. It is not a condition, but we have a vision. So, we are here voluntarily.
The University Teachers for Nation Building had also convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
My
personal preference is Ranil Wickremesinghe because he took the leadership when the country was in crisis to take the country forward. Regardless of the criticism, only Ranil Wickremesinghe has the ability to work with those who criticize him. From the start, he has called on all factions to work together. The unique quality of Ranil Wickremesinghe is that he does not care about party affiliations when it comes to work. He does not consider personal affiliations either. He wants to get the work done. He doesn't look to criticize others. There is a mechanism to ensure justice. What Ranil Wickremesinghe was doing in the recent past was setting that mechanism in motion. That is how we can one day build a nation free of fraud and corruption. It has been done. So if we want to move forward as a country, we have to move forward independently with Ranil.
ඒක නිසා අපි රටක් හැටියට ඉදිරියට යන්න නම් ස්වාධීනව මේ රනිල් සමග පෙරට යාම පමණයි කළ යුතු වන්නේ.
The Cabinet of Ministers has granted approval to allow visa-free entry for 38 countries.
Posting on X, Presidential Advisor Harin Fernando said, quote-unquote, "Today the Cabinet approved one-shop system like in Singapore for the 38 countries with visa-free to start with immediate effect." He added that the Cabinet has given the President full authority to execute the operation. Fernando said this will definitely help ease the congestion currently faced by tourists.
The Gajaba Unity Festival and Exhibition, which was held for 5 days, drew to a close today.
The Unity Festival was organised by the Association of Gajaba Veterans of the Gajaba Regiment of the Sri Lanka Army. The exhibition and festival kicked off on the 28th of August and was held at the Madolkale Stadium in Negombo. It comprised of motorcycle shows, dog shows and army exhibition booths. A series of musical shows added colour to the Gajaba Unity Festival.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has published its Agriculture Data Bulletin for August 2024, providing a comprehensive overview of the country's agricultural sector. The report highlights key statistics and trends that are crucial for understanding the current state and future prospects of agriculture in Sri Lanka.
Paddy production in the 2024 Yalla season is estimated to be 1.77 million metric tons, which is a 2.6% reduction from the previous Yalla season. Fish production increased by 19% in June 2024, largely driven by marine fishing activities. Retail fish prices moderated during July 2024 along with improved weather conditions for fishing activities. Domestic sugar production fell by 6.9% during the month, while global sugar prices were on an upward trend. Global sugar prices surged for the second consecutive month in July 2024, driven by lower than expected production in Brazil during the first half of the month, which outweighed the downward pressure from improved monsoon rainfall in India and favourable weather conditions in Thailand. Domestic tea production increased marginally by 0.1%, while international tea prices rose due to climate impacts and supply chain disruptions. Recent global tea prices have been rising due to a combination of factors, including reduced production from major tea-producing regions affected by adverse weather conditions, particularly in India, and the impact of geopolitical tensions disrupting supply chains. Local rubber production contracted by 23.6%, and global rubber prices displayed a decline in July 2024, driven by easing supply concerns and uncertainties over demand. In July 2024, international natural rubber prices experienced a decline, mainly attributed to easing supply concerns in major producing nations coupled with uncertainties over Chinese demand. Coconut production saw an increase of 6.9%. In July 2024, the market prices of export crops such as pepper, cocoa, cardamom, ginger, coffee, nutmeg and turmeric experienced an increase, while prices of clove and cinnamon registered a decline. Earnings from exports of spices increased in the month of June 2024, mainly due to the strong performance in the export of pepper.
Businesses, schools and transport across Israel are being affected by a general strike called to demand that the government agrees a deal to secure the release of hostages held by Hamas.
Municipal services in several Israeli districts were disrupted after the country's biggest labor union launched a general strike to pressure Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu into agreeing to a deal to bring Israeli hostages in Gaza home. The head of the Histadrut union, which represents hundreds of thousands of workers across the economy, called for the strike on Sunday after the bodies of 6 hostages were recovered in a tunnel in southern Gaza. The return of the hostages, who were shot dead between 48 to 72 hours before being found by Israeli forces, according to Health Ministry estimates, triggered deep shock in Israel, prompting at least 500,000 people to take to the streets in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv in protest on Sunday. Crowds estimated by Israeli media to number up to 500,000 strong demonstrated in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv and other cities, demanding that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu do more to bring home the remaining 101 hostages, about a third of whom Israeli officials estimate have died. Despite pressure from his own defense minister as well as senior generals and intelligence officials, Netanyahu has insisted on maintaining Israeli troops in key points of the Gaza Strip after any ceasefire.
Loud explosions rocked Ukraine's capital Kyiv early on Monday as Russia launched a barrage of missiles, sparking fires and damaging homes and infrastructure.
Residents across the city were awoken by a quick succession of bangs and the sound of air defense missiles blasting off skyward to intercept targets. The Air Force said it had destroyed 22 out of 35 missiles and 20 of 23 attack drones. It listed several types of cruise and ballistic missiles used by Russia. Air raid alerts sounded across Ukraine for nearly 2 hours before the Air Force declared the skies clear at 6:30 a.m. Neighboring NATO member Poland activated Polish and Allied aircraft to keep its airspace safe during the attacks. The broad bombardment, a week after Russia unleashed its largest air attack on Ukraine since full-scale war began early in 2022, coincided with the return to school for many children.
And with that, it's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.